At mishap, doing a neighborhood cleanup, I literally fell off a log. I spent almost a year as a one-legged mayor. Needless to say, I was hobbled and I was also humbled by the experience. And thank goodness for scooters, for crutches, and for electric bikes. Even those were a little bit challenging every once in a while. And up front, I have to apologize to the Huntsville Museum of Art for my scooter accidentally pulling off the tablecloth and drinks during one of their functions. Like any good mayor, I just kept on going and said, "Who did that?" As with any year, it's been one of successes, it's been one of hard-fought victories, and it's been one of challenges. But our challenges have only strengthened our resolve. How we tackle them reflects who we are. We are resilient, we are determined, and we're breaking new barriers every day. We've got some of the best minds of the world solving the problems of today so that the world is better tomorrow. Not many communities can say that. We're pragmatic, we are proactive, and we're engaged. We are Huntsville. We march to the beat of our own drum, and remember that the beat is going to be very important throughout this. Our tune is drawing record numbers of visitors who want to see what we're about. We welcomed 30.9 million visitors last year. That accounts for a $2.1 billion economic impact and more than 22,000 jobs tied to our hospitality industry. The people coming here helped us grow our economic base, which in turn allowed us to invest in capital projects that benefited our quality of life. That's everything from new roads and greenways to more places to play. In the past year, we have invested $70 million in these type of capital projects. We've reinvested $175 million over the last 5 years, and we'll invest $200 million more over the next 5 years. Great things are ahead because we think long-term, we exercise financial prudence, and we listen to our citizens. We also pay off our debts early, and it doesn't hurt that we have a AAA bond rating from both Moody's and Standard & Poor's. And that AAA bond rating just emphasizes our financial stability. Our financial stability is a key factor in all of those best of best lists. We've been a fixture in those top cities lists for more than a decade. We're ranked first for raising a family, and as someone who's raised a family here, and to see my grandchildren being raised here, that may be my proudest achievement. Other recent accolades reflect our success in attracting and retaining a workforce and our high quality of life. Rankings are great, but they really only validate what's obvious to everyone here today. Our plan, our strategy is working. Huntsville is a great place to live. Huntsville is a great place to work. Huntsville is a great place to play. The U.S. Air Force and Space Command thought so too. In fact, they ranked us #1 twice. The decision by the President to give it to the #5 on the list was a deep disappointment. But I want to thank those of you in this room, and there were a lot of you in this room, who invested your valuable time to get us to the top of the list. And let's just say it's not over until it's over. We want to thank our elected officials in Washington who fought and still fight on our behalf, especially our congressmen and the efforts of Alabama Congressman Mike Rogers, chair of the House Armed Services Committee. And to quote that fictional Alabamian, that's all I have to say about that. Interestingly enough, this year marks the 70th anniversary of Huntsville being proudly known as the Rocket City. The 70th anniversary of being known as the Rocket City. There's no way that our aerospace and defense pioneers could have predicted how Redstone Arsenal and Marshall Space Flight Center would shape our city. They set the rhythm 7 decades ago, and the beat has only grown stronger, steadier, and louder. Today, Redstone Arsenal is a home for 44,000 workers. It accounts for 108,000 jobs across the Tennessee Valley with an average salary of $87,000 per year. Redstone has an economic impact of $27 billion, which is nearly 10% of the state's GDP. The FBI continues its expansion on the Redstone campus and now boasts over 1,900 people. With a GDP of $5.6 billion, there's a lot of numbers in this, but just remember some of these numbers. The GDP of $5.6 billion, our aerospace and defense industries are booming. That accounts for more than 10% of our regional economy. And that's just a piece of our success. It's no mystery to us why industries, businesses, and agencies are attracted to Huntsville. They're attracted to great jobs, they're attracted to great schools, they're attracted to affordable housing, and they're attracted to a reasonable daily commute times and a second-to-none quality of life. Some may feel that we're growing too fast, but realistically, we're just right. And the numbers back that up. Our population has grown by over 9% in the past 3 years. Taken year over year, we're closer to 3 and 4% annually, which is not only sustainable, but it's the hallmark of a healthy city. At this rate, we're not outgrowing our infrastructure. The steady, measured pace allows us to leverage our master plan and target our needs as we look to the future. Our residential growth has risen. In the past year, our inspections team has permitted 5,300 new housing units for a total investment of more than $730 million. Over the past 5 years, we've permitted 19,000 housing units for a total investment of $2.2 billion. Our vacancy rate on multifamily housing is holding steady at 10%. That means our supply is meeting demand. And if you look outside, cranes remain a fixture throughout our city center. They're continuing a trend that we've seen over the past 15 years. In downtown alone, we've had $900 million in investment since 2008. That includes 3 million square feet of commercial space built or renovated and more than 1,000 new housing units. We've got numerous private and public projects that are planning or that are under construction throughout the core of the city. Construction on the new federal courthouse on Gallatin Street continues and should wrap up late next year. And we want to thank Judge Linwood Smith and Judge Lyles Burke for getting this project to the finish line. A dynamic city should have a symbol of justice, and this is going to be a stunning addition to our downtown. And, of course, the new City Hall is looking great. Many thanks to our General Services Department for keeping this project on schedule and on budget. Move-in date is second quarter of 2024. Our new City Hall is going to be an impressive structure, complete with public art. But more important to me, it's going to greatly improve our efficiency of city government by putting more departments under one roof, and it will save taxpayers dollars. We look forward to welcoming you to our new home when it's finished. From new grocery and retail stores to restaurants and hotels, private commercial investment is improving our quality of life. Over the past year, we've seen over $633 million in new commercial construction. Over the past 5 years, businesses have made commercial investment to the tune of $2.1 billion. Think Trader Joe's, think Cheesecake Factory. But we don't want commercial growth just for the sake of growth. We want to be strategic. When we first zoned Cummings Research Park, we prohibited speculative building and retail operations. And without some of those tough decisions, we wouldn't have the second largest research park in America today, or the fourth largest in the world. Cummings Research Parks boasts more than 300 companies that are employing over 26,000 people. Everything from high-tech and life-saving biotech research to aerospace and even a 2-year university. Thanks to our in-house team and recruitment partners, we are attracting job creators at a faster pace than any other time in our city's history. Our job market is cooking. Our unemployment rate of 1.7% is ranked among the top 10 in the entire country. Just last week, Smart Asset, I was supposed to say SET very clearly, ranked us among the top 5 best U.S. job markets. Now, listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Any person who wants a job can find it here in Huntsville, Alabama. In the past year, we've seen $310 million in industrial investment. That number over the past 5 years is $5.3 billion. Over the past decade, there have been 46,000 direct industry jobs created with an annual payroll of $2.9 billion. That's an annual payroll each and every year of $2.9 billion. That's billion with a B. Our metro employment growth from January 2010 to June 2023 is 8 points higher than the last time I spoke to you. Our bioscience sector is booming, as is advanced manufacturing. Our reputation as a smart place is firmly cemented. We have the highest ratio of engineers per capita. We're in the top 5 nationally for electronics, computer hardware, and material engineers. And additionally, we're top 5 in the country for software developers. That's also why we're attracting marquee tech conferences like the National Geospatial Intelligence Advantage Conference, or the Space and Missile Defense Symposium, or just last week we had the National Cyber Summit right here in this building. And we've had many, many more. Because of that, we're attracting a highly trained and educated workforce, and we're also working to attract more veterans. Clearing the hurdles to do a great job opportunity is the least we can do for anyone willing to raise their right hand and pledge to serve and protect this country. Along with the state and regional education partners, we're ensuring future generations have the skills they need to succeed in our competitive market. Our North Alabama colleges, nearly half of which are in Huntsville, have a total enrollment of 60,000 students and produce more than 1,300 graduates with aerospace and defense degrees each year. Our Alabama School for Cyber Technology and Engineering is a testament to what can be accomplished through public and private partnerships. With an enrollment of more than 250 students, the graduates of today, they'll be the innovators and they'll be the leaders of tomorrow. One day we'll call them boss. Within the walls of our school, the students are learning concepts and solving challenges most of us can't begin to comprehend. If you go out there, you're going to find these students are wicked smart. Likewise, Huntsville City Schools and Superintendent Dr. Clarence Sutton, they aren't just giving our students a diploma. They're creating the foundations to build their futures. In U.S. News & World Report's recent survey of the top 25 high schools in Alabama, our New Century High School was ranked 4th. Huntsville High was ranked 17th. These are exceptional achievements, and they represent another feather in our quality of life cap. We celebrate innovation, and some of our biggest innovators are our educators. That's because technology and conditions are always changing, and we appreciate teachers and staff members at all of our schools for the difference they're making in the lives of our students. It's often a thankless job. If you see a teacher, thank them for what they do. Also, thanks to those working behind the scenes to build a better or brighter day, and those who struggle to overcome life's challenges. We mentioned some of those in our prayer before we had lunch. Our nonprofit partners provide opportunities to citizens with disabilities and guidance to some of those who might have just lost their way. They offer open hearts and minds to those who want to be heard and included, and we thank them for making a difference in the lives of all of our citizens. These workers, volunteers, and leaders, they're the rich colors in our vibrant community tapestry. They're marching to their own beat, but with a common goal, to make Huntsville the best it can be. And I'd like to introduce you to some of them now.
I'm marching to my own beat by shining a spotlight on the best and brightest future leaders at Fantasy Playhouse, Children's Theater, and Academy.
Our drumbeat is keeping the world safe from cyber terrorists.
And using technology to make the world a better place. This incredible cyber school allows us to do that all day, every day.
When you march a different drum, it's nice to have a band to play with. Growing up as a teenager in Huntsville, the Getaway Skate Park was my place. As an adult, I was proud to work with the city and community leaders to develop the new Getaway Skate Park, a place where future generations can find their space.
I march to my own beat by discovering and exploring how plants can create a better world. And I'm really proud to work with a community of scientists, researchers, and other folks who are committed to improving life for all.
Walk or hike along any of the Land Trust 80-plus miles of trails and explore the wonders of nature. I love that I found my beat, my heartbeat, as a dedicated steward, protector, and advocate for public land.
Estoy marchando a mi propio ritmo, tocando con todo mi corazón en el Wicks Family Field en Joe Davis Stadium.
We play a sport that most cities don't even have.
Beach volleyball is really physical. It forces you to identify your weaknesses.
If you can't pass, you get served. If you can't set, your partner gets served, and then you are forced to pass.
We beat our drums for beach volleyball. Go United!
The atmosphere in Huntsville can lead someone to do big things. In the wake of a devastating '89 tornado, I felt we had to focus on doing better. Now, 30-some patents later, barren weather technology is saving lives around the world.
I am marching to my own beat by providing resources and knowledge to the next generation of music superstars. Our kids dream of the spotlight, but may not have the means to make that happen. We not only give them the skills and a place to learn, but also instill the confidence that helps them to rise to the next level.
Wow, thank you to the Alabama A&M band. Let's give them another round of applause. All those next to the percussion and next to the horns probably won't hear the rest of the speech, but it is great, let me tell you. You know, that band marched through their own beat, as do many of you. We owe our success to our difference makers who dared to be exceptional. And we're proud to be individuals, but we are also together, setting the tempo for future generations. Right here, we set the tempo for future generations. As you know, one of the top goals for Huntsville is to become a premier music city, a destination music city. And when we created the Huntsville Music Office and hired Matt Mandrella as our music officer, we started thinking about music as both a job creator and also an economic development tool. We also wanted to attract a large-scale outdoor music festival. One of the things we hear a lot is, when are you bringing back Big Spring Jam? Matt hears it too. In October, our administration will present a contract to City Council that proposes a partnership agreement with C3 Presents, one of the best festival producers in the world. If approved, C3 will bring a major two-day music festival to John Hunt Park that will recreate the Big Spring Jam experience, only on a much bigger, larger, and better scale. If you've never heard of C3, many of you may be asking about C3, and if you've never heard of C3, you've probably heard of some of the festivals they've produced, including the Austin City Limits Music Festival, another one called Lollapalooza, and they also did a very small event up the road in Tennessee. No, we don't know the name yet of our festival, but with the council's blessings, we can't wait to listen to internationally acclaimed artists performing at Huntsville's first large-scale music festival. It's going to be a blast. People loved some of those outdoor events. And during the public meetings when we were forming the Huntsville Music Initiative, that was something that we heard over and over. Citizens wanted an outdoor entertainment venue. We listened, thus the Orion. In the 16 months since the Orion Amphitheater opened, we have sold out shows from diverse artists like Dave Matthews Band, Fish, Stevie Nicks, Kenny Chesney, Jelly Roll, Stoop Dog, and Lana Del Rey. Now, if you know all those bands, you make it A. For many of those shows, people drove, and some even flew from other states to, maybe they flew to Huntsville International Airport, but they came to see live music at the Orion. That's quite a feat, and it's exactly the response that we hoped for. Last year, we were featured in the Rolling Stone magazine. This year, the Orion was ranked 12th worldwide for ticket sales and 15th for gross sales. More importantly, it's becoming a booming cultural center. On this side of town, the Von Braun Center, right where we're sitting today, the Von Braun Center and its Mars Music Hall have remained a cornerstone of our music and tourism initiatives. It's not only home to our Huntsville Havoc, but it also regularly welcomes conferences, conventions, and events just like what we're doing today. In 2022 and so far in 23, the Von Braun Center has hosted nearly 40 sold-out events. I was thrilled to proclaim George Jones Day at the sold-out Still Playing Possum tribute show with the help from Paula Dean. If you missed it, you got a chance to see it again. It's coming to the movie theaters in Jones Valley on October 17th. Be sure to check it out. And thanks to our partnerships with Huntsville Sports Commission, Chamber of Commerce, and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, we're seeing a surge in sports tourism. We recently announced Huntsville will be the host for the 2026 UCI Paracycling Road World Championships, one of the first times World Championships have been held in the United States. This event will bring para-athletes from around the world as well as their families, coaches, and fans, and they'll all come to the Rocket City, and we couldn't be more excited. This December, the Von Braun Center right here will host the Auburn men's and Tennessee women's basketball teams. Next spring, the Conference USA men's and women's basketball championships are again coming to the Von Braun Center right here in Huntsville. One of the big success stories over the past year is the rebirth of Joe Davis Stadium. How many have been to Joe Davis Stadium? All right, we need a few more hands next year. We transformed what was an eyesore to a sparkling, multi-use athletic facility, and it's been monumental, one that everybody should be proud of. After only a year of operation, Wick's Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium was nominated for a Sports Travel Award for Best New or Renovated Sports Venue. And it's a wonderful place to watch our new soccer team. I saw them play their last match for the season Sunday, and the Huntsville Football Club is a great group to go out and watch. Thanks to Chad Emerson and the Nashville Soccer Club, we appreciate the partnership. And also they're putting together great teams on the field, but they're teaming with us and putting together great teams off the field. Also on Friday nights, you can go to the Joe and you can see an incredible venue for high school football players. We saw the first game that was played there when Grissom played Hazel Green. And part of that is all part of John Hunt Park. But that's not all of it. John Hunt Park is evolving into a dynamic jewel of our park system. It's already home to collegiate-level sand volleyball courts, world-class mountain bike course, and one of the fastest cross-country courses in the nation. But we're not even close to being finished. Earlier this year, we announced plans for a new recreation center just north of the Joe that will feature 16 outdoor lighted courts designed for competition pickleball player. How many play pickleball in here? That is amazing. They drive us crazy. I'm sorry, they are very big advocates for what they do. Also at John Hunt Park, we recently renamed our championship soccer complex after former Mayor Loretta Spencer, who laid the groundwork for our sports tourism successes. Started the Sports Commission. It's a small token of appreciation on our part for someone who's left a rich legacy in the city she served for 12 years. Let's give her a hand. And as we said, we're not finished yet. After years of design and planning and construction, we recently celebrated the grand opening of the Getaway Skate Park and Kids Space, also at John Hunt Park. With a fresh modern design and look, all the new kids space is something that I know that the community will love. And the new playground is safer, and it's also more accessible to all children. The skate park is a great example of a successful public-private partnership. A $1 million private donation by Paul Giro got the wheels spinning. The Community Foundation of Greater Huntsville and the Skateboard Park Project helped raise more money. There was a little bit left, and the city funded the balance. But it was General Services Director Ricky Wilkinson and City Administrator John Hamilton who ensured the project did not grind to a halt. Grind is a skateboard lingo, in case you didn't know. I didn't know. In North Huntsville, if you've been up to North Huntsville recently, we recently cut the ribbon on the beautiful new Legacy Park. And it's a part of, it will encourage more residential and commercial growth in that part of Huntsville, which is already enjoying a resurgence. Over to the west in Mid-City, we're moving towards our final phase of Apollo Park. To the south, we're also excited about the development of a 9-acre Hayes Farm Central Park that will be anchor for parkway redevelopment as well as a popular gathering spot. And for our far western Huntsville citizens, construction will soon start on a new recreation center for the intersection of Martin and Zert Roads. With these projects, we've worked to turn the beat around, just as our band did, and create a second-to-none quality of life for our citizens. That commitment also goes to providing safer ways to move. When I was first elected to City Council in 1984 and as mayor in 2008, and every year since, the number one issue has been roads. How are we going to get about? But there's been a change in how we focus on our road system, how we focus on our transportation system, how we focus on a multimodal approach to our transportation network. No matter if you like to travel, how you like to travel, whether you like to walk or drive or run, bike, skate, Lyft or Uber, we're working it. Over the last 5 years, we have spent a record amount on road resurfacing and residential street improvements. And now attention to the major collectors. Remember, the reasonable daily commute, 18 to 20-minute average, that's something we've strived for. And maybe minus a fender bender on 565, we're achieving it. On that note, we're working with the state to install digital signs on 565 to alert drivers to congestion and when to take an alternate route. And we have made significant investments to improve our road network, and that trend will continue. Nearly a decade ago, the state committed $1 billion to roads throughout the whole state of Alabama with the passage of A-TRIP. Thinking proactively, we started in 2014 and we secured commitments for $1 billion to improve just Huntsville's city roads infrastructure. By the numbers, that's $450 million in large-scale projects, $130 million in residential and neighborhood street resurfacing. Our capital plan committed another $130 million for road projects over the next fiscal year, and we've earmarked an additional $200 million for road projects over the next 5 years. $1 billion. It's a lot of money, but we're not finished yet. Part of that $1 billion is a commitment that includes the northern bypass from Memorial Parkway to Pulaski Pike. This will start construction this year and provide an easier access to 565 to Gate 9 at Redstone and for commuters in North Huntsville, Hazel Green, Meridianville. Design has already started for the next phase of the North Parkway to Winchester Road. That's going to complete our northern loop. And another part of that commitment is the Maston Lake overpass, which will improve traffic flow along Sparkman Drive, Winchester Road, and North Parkway. In terms of completing commitments, we're in the final phases of finishing Greenbrier Parkway, which is going to spark more growth opportunities in our western corridor. So many of these projects would not have happened without our city council. The Huntsville City Council has been there in support as we have done each of these. Sometimes if you watch a council show on a Thursday night, it's kind of like sausage being made. We may not always interpret the song the same way, but we all know that we play in the same band and we work together. Council support is essential, especially when it comes to funding city services like public safety. Public safety is key to us. Public safety is an essential element to our success. We have the best trained police officers and firefighters in the country. Public safety is our number one priority. Let me say that again. Public safety is our number one priority. Last year, even as our population grew, our violent crime rate went down. Still, public safety work is dangerous work. And we were tragically reminded of that on March 28th when Officer Garrett Crumby lost his life while serving and protecting the community he loved. You know, we are always and forever indebted to his service and to his sacrifice. This community continues to rally around Officer Albert Moran, who was wounded on that same day and who has overcome critical injuries and has returned to duty. We always need to remain mindful and appreciative of those who risk their lives every day to keep us safe. As mayor, I have the honor of working with people who strive every day to make our community better. These are our department heads. These are the people who do the real work in the trenches. And we are really proud of a great city leadership team. It's a privilege to recognize the following new leaders, because we have some new leaders on the team. Amy Keenum leads our GIS department. She and her team do truly innovative work, and they are scary smart. Chandrika Edwards is our new city clerk, and her office is our official record keeper, and they also oversee city elections. Darlene Dewar has stepped up to lead natural resources, and Randall Stewart is overseeing water pollution control. Both are stewards of our environment. On that note, departments like natural resources and WPC will now be aided by a sustainability commission. Last year, we invited a stakeholder group to look at the city's sustainability efforts and make recommendations. Their recommendations included the creation of an advisory committee to ensure our environmental goals are achieved. It was a great thing, and we were glad to put it in place. So, after all this, does all of this make us unique? So many in the room like to use that word when they describe Huntsville. I like to use that word when I describe Huntsville. Unique is a term that is often overused, but it also fits us. We know who we are, we know what right looks like, and we follow our own North Star. Let's take a moment to celebrate how we march to our own beat and all those who march with us. People like Paul Giroux, who dreamed of building a skateboard park for its future generations like the one he enjoyed in his youth. People like Bob Barron, who we saw on the video, who dreamed of a new technology that would predict severe storms and alert the weather. People like Rodney Robertson, president of our cyber community for a long time, who used technology for good and kept us safe from cyber predators. People like Mario Maitland, who dreamed of bringing music into the lives of children who might never know the joy or the inspiration of playing an instrument. We are bold. We take chances, and we make things happen. Now, we're almost at the end, and this is our interactive section, okay? Everybody get ready to be interactive, and this is a test, so I hope you were paying attention and weren't looking at your cell phones. Test is going on here. Your job is to respond with "we did" or "we will." Everybody got that? We did or we will. When Mazda Toyota announced plans to bring an advanced manufacturing facility to North America, who fought to bring them here? Very good. Who built an internationally acclaimed amphitheater visited by people from across the country? Who turned an old airport into a thriving park that now attracts national collegiate sports championships? Who took a retired baseball stadium and turned it into a world-class facility for pro soccer and high school football? Who worked with our schools and universities to ensure we had a steady pipeline of talent for our advanced manufacturers? Who played a pivotal role in putting man on the moon 54 years ago? And who will play a critical role in sending the first manned mission to Mars? Why? Because we have an unequal and unsurpassed passion for innovation, and we boldly march towards the future. We are Huntsville. We dare to be different. We march to our own beat, and we set the tempo. Thank you for being here today.
I'd like to thank you all for attending today. And I want to thank you personally, Mayor, for being a wonderful leader for this city and for the insightful and inspiring presentation you just gave us all. This concludes our State of the City for 2023. We are now adjourned. Thank you for being here.
Great job, Mayor. Great job.